Madrid, the summer of 2018. Cristiano Ronaldo sits down at a press conference at the Bernabeu. His eyes are red, his voice is trembling, and what he says shakes the football world to its core. I'm going to Juventus. In that moment, the hearts of millions of Madridista fans stop for a second, because this is not just a transfer. This is the end of a Real Madrid era. But what if that press conference had never happened? What if Florentino Perez had made a different decision in that final meeting? What if Ronaldo had never taken off the white shirt? Because right here, the greatest what if question in modern football history begin at. Let's go back to that summer. 2018 was a season where Ronaldo was at his absolute peak. They had become Champions League winners for the third consecutive time. Ronaldo had scored 15 goals in the tournament. In the Kiev final against Juventus, he had made history with an incredible goal. But behind the scenes, there was a serious problem. Ronaldo was having a tax dispute with the club's management. He felt he was being treated unfairly in Spain. And most importantly, he felt he was not receiving the respect he expected from Florentino Perez. In the real world, this breaking point led to Ronaldo leaving for Italy. But in this alternate timeline, Perez picks up the phone. They have a meeting, and Ronaldo stays in Madrid. Now think about how big a difference this would have made. The 2018-19 season begins. Ronaldo is still in the white shirt, but this season, in real history, was a complete nightmare for Real Madrid. They were eliminated by Ajax in the Champions League. They fell far behind Barcelona in La Liga. Lopetegui was sacked. Solari was sacked. There was complete disarray. But if Ronaldo had been there, would this picture have ever looked like this? Quick question, write yes or no in the comments. Do you think if Ronaldo had stayed, Real Madrid would have won the Champions League in 2019 as well? Because Real Madrid's decline after Ronaldo's departure was no coincidence. The team's psychology had changed. The player who scored in big matches and carried the pressure on his own shoulders had left. Karim Benzema waited for years to fill that void, and he finally filled it in 2022. But in this alternate timeline, Benzema never has to wait for that opportunity. Ronaldo and Benzema continue playing together. Imagine this duo spending the 2019, 2020, and 2021 seasons together. Ronaldo putting in the same performances in the white shirt that he delivered in the Juventus shirt during those years, scoring 28 goals in a single season, scoring them on the Champions League stage in the shirt of the greatest club in the world. And this is where the dominoes begin to fall one by one. Juventus, unable to sign Ronaldo, goes through that period very differently. In the real world, Ronaldo went to Italy and dominated Serie A, but could never deliver the expected success in the Champions League. In this timeline, Juventus carries on with Dybala and Higuain. Without Ronaldo, they cannot advance in the big European matches. Italian football never experiences that Ronaldo wind. Now like the video and subscribe, because this story is really going to a stunning place. Let's come to the Ballon d'Or matter. In the real world, Ronaldo won his fifth Ballon d'Or in 2018 and then left Madrid. From 2019 onwards, the award returned to Messi. 2019, 2021, 2023, 2024. Messi was practically left without a rival. But in this timeline, Ronaldo is still shining in Champions League matches, still scoring at the Bernabeu, still challenging Messi every single week. This completely changes the Ballon d'Or race. Maybe Ronaldo would have won 2019 as well. Maybe a sixth, maybe a seventh award would have followed. And this would have placed Messi's eighth Ballon d'Or story in a completely different frame. Messi would still be a legend, but not an unchallenged legend, of course. Now think about how much bigger this would have made the rivalry. The debate between Messi and Ronaldo was already the greatest debate in football history. But after 2019, when Ronaldo went to Juventus, he stepped away from the stage. He was not there in El Clásicos. He could not face Messi in the Champions League. The rivalry was geographically split in two. But in this timeline, every season, every El Clasico, every Champions League night would be a new chapter of that rivalry. The football world would never have had to separate these two from the same stage. And let's come to perhaps the most important point. What was Ronaldo's last great dream at Real Madrid? A sixth Champions League title in his own name, to break the club's own record. In real history, he could not do this because he left the club. In 2022, Benzema and Ancelotti won that trophy. And Ronaldo most likely watched that night from in front of the television. But in this timeline, the player lifting that trophy in the white shirt in the 2022 final is not Benzema. It is Ronaldo. At 37 years old, on the greatest night of his career, he lifts the sixth Champions League trophy under the lights of the Bernabeu. Even imagining this scene is breathtaking, isn't it? So what would this have meant for the Portugal national team? In real history, Ronaldo appeared less effective with the national team during his Juventus period. The disappointments in club football wore him down, but in this timeline, Ronaldo is happy, victorious, and hungry at Madrid. He enters the 2022 World Cup in this form, and who knows, maybe this Ronaldo would have written a very different story in Qatar. Now let's step back and take a look. Ronaldo's departure from Madrid was beyond just a transfer. That departure closed an era. It ended the period where the Messi-Ronaldo rivalry was lived out on the pitch. It made the Ballon d'Or race one-sided. It pushed Real Madrid into years of uncertainty, and it left a giant question mark in Ronaldo's own career. That is why I keep coming back to the same question. In that summer of 2018, if Florentino Perez had made a single phone call and said, "Cristiano, stay, don't go," what would the last 7 years of football history have looked like? How many Ballon d'Ors would Ronaldo have won? How many more Champions Leagues would Real Madrid have lifted? And would the Messi-Ronaldo rivalry still be going on today? In your opinion, if Ronaldo had stayed at Real Madrid, who would be the greatest player in football history? Let's discuss this in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. So what scenario would you like to see in the next video?